You're from that weird family, aren't you?
We're not weird.
We don't like wrestling.
How do you know if you've never been?
I've never had rectal bleeding before, but I'm pretty sure I'm not a fan of that.
How about I shove her head up your ass and then we can find out?
Stephen, thank you so much for your time. I really
Please.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you for having me.
What was it, though, that made you want to be the person to tell Paige's story?
I just connected to it once I saw the documentary that had been made on British TV about Paige and her family. I can't take any credit. I didn't see the documentary, even though I am British. It was Dwayne. It was Dwayne Johnson. He was making Fast and Furious 17 in London. He saw this documentary about her, coming from a wrestling family. I think he really responded to it. Was looking for someone British to sort of render it into a film. I think he only knows two British people, me and Jason Statham. And I guess I was the guy with the fastest typing speed, and I won the gig, and here we are. And I think what I responded to was that the wrestling side of it was almost here and there. It was about anyone, you know, with a dream, with a crazy family, you know, someone who leaves home, who's pursuing that, someone who feels like an outsider, trying to find their place in the world, someone who feels like the world's pushing back, we're not interested in you, and you know, you keep moving forward. And there is a kind of Rocky style underdog story at the heart of it that was just sort of sitting there waiting to be plucked out.
Well, in that case, then, since you have access to Paige and to get information, was there a certain point where you had to separate whatever she may give to you, or you may want to check with her on to say, this is a story I want to tell through this?
Well, initially I spent time with her and with her family, and I got their version of events, but I didn't want this simply to be, you know, their version of the story, you know, because there's always other dimensions to it. And so I visited Florida, where she had trained. I met with her trainers. I met with other people that she'd worked alongside, and you know, they gave me a different perspective. And for instance, she sometimes felt when she was over there that she was being bullied by other girls, but actually when you speak to the other girls, sometimes they're like, no, she was the bully sometimes, you know. And so I thought, oh, that's an interesting angle on that. And so I tried to be truthful as much as I could. I didn't want to paint the family as perfect, you know, because they are, by their own admission, flawed people, and I wanted to embrace that, because I feel that. I don't feel like I'm a perfect person, neither is my family, and we all make mistakes, but I think one of the things I like about them is they sort of take ownership of that, and I think there's a line in Apollo in Rocky Balboa, right? You know, about it's about sort of, can you take the punches and keep moving forward? And I sort of feel like that's what this family is.
I gotta ask, though, because it seems strange, because The Rock is a persona.
Right.
And you know, he goes out and he does a lot of great work. But what's it like having directed The Rock as The Rock? Do you just do what you gotta do?
I don't think The Rock is the man for the job. I felt I was hoping to get Vin Diesel to play The Rock, but Vin wasn't available, so I settled with Dwayne. I mean, the embarrassing thing is I'm trying to write Rock-style promo speeches. You know, all I'm doing is watching old YouTube clips and kind of writing them down and making a greatest hits and then handing them to him, and he kind of looks at it, goes into a corner, comes back, just does full-on Rock mode with all the kind of magnificence that you'd imagine. And yeah, you realise no one can do The Rock but The Rock. But you know, he was collaborative from the off, so you know, he told me things that had happened. There's a moment where he kind of meets her backstage at WrestleMania, which was drawn from real life and real events. And so in the end, you put him in front of the camera and let him do his thing.